what's good, family? From the Facebook group Life, Love, and Relationships, TADS. You're tuning into the hottest Facebook live show on the book. It's the After Dinner Snack.
All right, we finally got this thing situated. All right, we should be cooking good from now on, okay?
Cooking good.
Cooking good. Cooking good now. Cooking good now. Hey, once again, we're having a few technical difficulties, but now we are going and we are live and we are operational at full speed.
Hey.
Okay, so today's topic, once again, I'm going to go ahead and flash that on the screen. Single moms versus the world. The call-in number today is 216-800-7222. So if you want to call in and spill your guts about how hard it is to be a single mom, I want to hear it tonight. I want to hear it tonight because tonight I'm kneecapping women. I'm taking them outside and putting them down. So look, all right, we got two single women here, two single moms, right? Okay, yes. All right. Once again, before I get too far, our special caller for this evening is Strong Mommy Chrissy from YouTube. She's gonna be calling in at about 9 o'clock. But before the end, we're going to have a little, talk between ourselves, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. Please call in 216-800-7222. Okay. So, single moms, my take on single moms. Single moms ruin the world. Ruin.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what, tomfoolery? I'm not even surprised for you to make such a statement because it's lightweight. You've been indoctrinated to believe these things. It's almost like PTSD because you're so disconnected with the role of the woman in the universe that you could make such a statement.
Oh my God, space and universe and
yeah,
flying
because
spaceships.
How could, if life comes from the womb of the woman is the birth chamber of humanity. It's in the womb of the woman that life comes forth. So understanding that, then if you even believe like patriarchal ideologies, if you say that you believe that single mothers are ruining the world, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
the basis for my argument is I'm not going to deny anything that you just said. Mm-hmm. That is all factual. Mm-hmm. The problem is the bad decisions. It's one thing, let's say for a teenage mom to have a child, early, 15, 18, 19, 20. To do it again and again and again and again and again sometimes, that's the problem. And it's like, this isn't a generation of women who are getting raped. No, that's not happening. These are the decisions they're making. So we can say like, okay, so what's the man's role in this whole thing? At the end of the day, like right now, like Latoya, if I was to be like, hey, let's go in another room and get busy, what would you say? No. She made a conscious decision. You know what I'm saying? And single moms have to be accountable for the decisions that they make in having these children with men.
Mm-hmm. But if you think about it though, like a lot of women be in relationships for years with a certain guy or something and they trust that person. You look at yourself as being with this person for some years to come, or maybe being your husband. It's not your fault that you make that decision and then they walk out on their responsibility.
Now I understand what you're saying right now, but typically, statistically, that's not the case. The case is, hold on, let me go to the stats.
Yeah,
let's go to the stats.
Them up. And please reference your stats, and if they U.S. government stats, I'm gonna tell you flush them,
all right,
because it's the same stats.
Oh my goodness, Carla,
that's systematically set up to dismantle specific communities, especially of people.
All right, let's start at the beginning. And the first stat here is, all right,
and let me know the study that was conducted.
Hold on
also
a second. Calm down there, buddy. Put your muzzle on. Hold on. All right. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services,
Right.
What?
The same U.S. government at one point. You know the Constitution established you as only 3/5 human.
Marcus Garvey
Are you really
on the
coming
radio
with this
show
about
today?
a U.S. government? Get out of here.
These are facts. Like
it's anybody can state their facts. They state as a fact. A fact was stated. You know, fact in U.S. history and government.
All right, let me just read it, Carla, and then you tell
that
me.
You
tell me if it's a JFK conspiracy. Okay. Let me read it first, and then you tell me if JFK, got shot by a bullet that was moving at the speed of light and cut through everything. Okay, Magneto, listen. So, all right. So, teen births in 2014, there were 24.2 births for every 1,000 adolescent females between the ages of 15 and 19. Or 249,078 babies born to females in this age group. Nearly 89% of these births occurred outside of a marriage. Now, is that fiction? Would you say that's fiction?
No, I would say they use it. That sounds like it could be reasonable. But
okay,
I don't know,
all right. Let me continue. Calm down. Let me continue. All right.
It could be fake numbers.
All right. Oh my God. Oh,
Trump.
Oh my God.
No,
it's
go
fake
ahead.
news.
All right, so let's go with it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Don't watch Fox News. It's fake.
Whoa,
listen. All right. So not all teens' births are their first births. In 2014, 1 in 6, 17% of births to 15 to 19-year-olds were to females who already had one or more children. That was the rest of it, right? It ran off. They didn't see it. But is that fact? You think that's fake
okay?
Too?
We'll take Let's take that as a fact and continue.
Okay. All right. Let's just, before I go further, let's just because
that's not speaking how they're destroying the
oh my
world.
Gosh. What my point is we can talk about everything after the decision, but the decision is the most important part. Mm-hmm. You got a teenage mom. She's 16. She's 15. She has one kid. She turns around at 16, has another kid. These are the decisions. And the thing is, it's like, even the way, we have our society set up right now, these kids got rights. And you can have a kid that's 14 and have a baby, and you can't tell her what to do with her baby because she the mama.
I don't think that's accurate. I think if they're
how many of these kids got goofy cartoon names?
I mean, yeah, you can name your child, but I'm saying if there's still a minor and the minor is still under the care of their parent and they have not emancipated themselves legally from the parent, then the child is the responsibility of the parent. Just like the minor's responsibility of the parent, so is their child.
Well, I'm going to speak from experience. I have a daughter that's 17 who has a child, and I do have to have like a balance with me being her mom to teaching her how to be a mom to her child. Sometimes I have to back up because it's something that she has to learn to teach for her daughter that I can't take over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell her how to raise her daughter. To some degree I can, and then I have to back up because that's her responsibility. And for her to learn, she has to go through that.
But I personally feel like that's the greatest mistake we keep making over and over and over again. You have more experience as a parent than your daughter.
Right.
And your daughter needs to fall in line. Where your daughter live?
She live with me.
Exactly. You are the leader of that household. Like, your daughter really need to fall in line. And that's the problem. I guess I'm really saying, like, we keep letting the problem happen over and over and over and over again, but we keep doing the same mistakes.
Okay, as in like me telling her things. It's like things like we're like, say like at the baby's nose stuff. Go use the plug thing on her nose, the little nose thing, or she will do what she want to do. It's little things, not big things I let her.
But what it is those little things are big things. It's like the whole culture. Like, your daughter, basically, those little things, like say your daughter, she starts running a fever. It's the same as if she was running a fever and she went to you for advice as, Mom, I met this guy. No, he's terrible. Listen to you then. All of it. It all needs to come together.
But your kid gonna do what they want to do. Period. Behind your back.
All right. So this is what I'm saying. If we don't nip it in the bud, if we don't get control of the quote unquote teenage mom, the United States of America spends $7 billion a year on teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy. They don't have jobs. They don't have money. Who pays for these pregnancies? The United States government.
Listen, this is what I'm going to say to that.
Go ahead.
I still don't feel as though you qualified your statement.
Oh my God.
As far as how single mothers are ruining the world. Seriously, I don't think you qualified it. Now, if we're going to talk about teen pregnancy, then we need to examine it from different angles. And that's not only the family angle, it's a societal angle, and things become systemic within society. So when you're looking at teen pregnancies, you have to look at, is this a generational thing? When you make a phallic statement based off of your personal opinion about these teenagers not working, you have some teenage mothers that's not only working one job, but working two, and fathers.
But Carla, you're
well.
basing this off of minute, like so small of a percentage.
But we can't say that because I don't have the data to poll. I haven't done a study to deal with. Teenage parents this is the how many work and how many do not work.
This is the facts of the facts of the matter is these kids are having babies at an all-time high.
Which I agree, but that's societal. Now we have to look at what's being promoted. Because we're consumers more than anything, I would say it's generalizations. So we're consuming media. We think our kids cute when they acting like Beyonce and gyrating around. When grown women, 30, 40 years old, talking about they the pink Barbie and all this stuff. And then we're mirroring a certain image, and then our children are becoming sexualized, not really understanding what that is. And so now they're caught in a web and they're ignorant. Because society is not training them, and people can say, okay, the training is supposed to happen in the home. Well, if it's not present in the home, it's not present in educational institutions, because we have these straight right-wing conservatives that are living in this fantasy world as if everything else that I just stated does not exist, as if the media is not inundating these teenagers and young adults with these images of what is hot. So it's sexualized.
So at the end of the day, though, Carla, but you got to go back to basic sound decision making.
But if you have not, what is basic sound decision making, and where do you learn how to make basic sound decision making?
Supposedly from your parents.
Yes, but if my mother was 14 when she had me, and her mother was 15 when she had her, we're dealing with generations where the average grandmother is 30 something.
Okay, your point. I take their point, and I accept that. But the problem is, I started with teen pregnancy, but this goes into their 20s. This goes into their 30s. This goes into their 40s. We got moms like 30 years old still laying up with dudes that ain't nothing and having babies.
Yeah, and just like we have brothers, either because single parenting, it's single moms and it's single fathers, because brothers have to deal with the craziness if the female's crazy, or vice versa. But the only point I'm making is that it is a trickle down effect. And so now, what is the societal implications of this? Meaning, we know if the family's jacked up, and then we have people, government officials, people in the community that's weighing in. But where's the action with that weigh-in? We can just take the demographic of this area that we're in. We can take the urban communities. Where is the each one reach one type of mentality? Because if your mother is piss poor and she had you when you was 14 and you don't know, you shouldn't be bringing that baby out like that with no head covering. And no one's telling you, but everybody's whispering on the porch. It's the whole mindset of community and family. It's not just family.
But wouldn't you say it's also some accountability on the single mom and her consistent bad decision making from the time of the first birth all the way through? Mm-hmm. How she picks men, how she operates, all of it. And the thing is, it's like, I see a lot of moms be like, well, my kids is clean, they go to school, they get good grades, and that's all the stuff your kid's supposed to be doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when you having kids over and over again by dudes that you know, like, I mean, it bothers me that when women have children by men that don't take care of their children, and they notice before they have another child. It's like,
but when I say, you understand when I say that it is a systemic thing, that is the core of it is much deeper than the surface stuff that we're talking about. Because even when we examine the mindset, the culture of poverty, and when I say PTSD from the effects of us being people, if I talk about people of color, having to deal with the whole mindset of the dismantling of the African American families, or whatever it is that you want to say, it's like Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed a lot more people. I freed so many of them. I don't recall the number, but I could have freed so much more if they knew they were slaves. What I'm saying is, when you see these young ladies that are or young men that keep having babies and procreating, some of them is out of their ignorance that they do this because they see the child as an asset of something that's theirs. That's why you'll notice they're like, my baby, and they use it as a power trip. And a lot of that is due to sometimes, especially out of poverty, impoverished family, the only thing you have are your children. And poverty transcends race. But even so, I would say even in poor white cultures, their children are their property. Yes, it is some accountability, but ignorance begets ignorance.
But I guess it's like we can't. Okay, so
and we have nothing in place to properly inform them.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like we have to have a logical starting point to actually fix. And we can go and say, all right, the TV, the media, they're doing this and they're doing that. But at the end of the day, if individuals don't start making better decisions, it's like it's all for naught. You know what I'm saying? We have to get to a point where, put it like this, we can't allow, me personally, I personally am for mandatory birth control for anybody on public assistance. And that sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Mandatory birth control for anyone on public assistance. Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that.
Why?
I think it's their choice.
No, I'm just going back with it because
it's not their choice. Because
I'm thinking who would be targeted.
On all of us.
But but who would be targeted? Because even though the data shows us that the majority of people that benefit from welfare is not African Americans, but I guarantee that those who would be probably targeted for those certain birth control pills and things that may even because we have cases that's on the books now where Black women were sterilized, where became sterile as a result of these projects that people try to do to try to
I get where you're
going.
That's
not under our control though, because who gonna be there to be like, did you pop your pill last night?
Listen,
like you can't.
Right. No, they probably
all right, so are y'all
familiar
with like the country China? Y'all heard of that before?
Mm-hmm.
Like China for a long time had one child rule
requirement, yeah.
And one of the things that they did, it was mandatory. They went up in your crib. It was fines first. For some provinces, it was fines. Some provinces, there were mandatory abortions. Mm-hmm. Some provinces, you went to jail. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, my point is, we've let our civil liberties in this country go to the point where, like how you said, who are we to tell? Everybody has to pay for these kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's unfair to the person. Let's just say I'm a single man. I work hard. I take care of myself. I don't have no kids, but my taxes is extremely high. Their taxes are high because so-and-so got 3-4 kids by 3-4 people who ain't helping. And since I work, I got to pay. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just that individual. And this is what I'm saying. If you really want to fix the problem, we have to change the way we do things in America. And one of them is we have to stop letting people on public assistance go deeper down the well. We have to save them from themselves.
But you know what you're not accounting for? See, because when you make statements like this, it is very dangerous. This is very dangerous what you're doing though, Swoop, because this is what has put, it marginalizes people and it marginalizes a certain set of people. When you make a blanket statement about public assistance, when you have people who public assistance may help them get over a hump. Everyone is not manipulating the system.
I'm not saying that.
But listen what I'm saying to you though. Everyone that is on the system is not necessarily a burden to the system. It is people that have paid into that system. And if you've fallen on hard times and need those benefits, you paid years into that system that God bless being a part of a country that has a social system that you can sign up for and to get food. Being in third world countries and seeing what the opposite of that pendulum is, I'm grateful that things like this exist. And what I'm saying, for a person that may be working hard to not stay on the system but get off, it's a blessing. But what happens when you make a statement like you're making, it marginalizes those very people.
I was on the system for years. There's some things that I still like have on the system, but it's just me as for myself taking care of 3 people. So it helped me get through. So,
but okay. So just to, piggyback on that, like, all right, I'm gonna make another statement. I want you to give me y'all's honest opinion. Look, I'm gonna look in the camera for this one. Hey everybody, hi, my name's Tommy. Listen,
tomfoolery.
So if
I like
Uncle I'm gonna make this statement. So if you receive any form of assistance, isn't that really saying you can't afford your children?
Listen, you cannot, that you need some assistance, yes. But just because you're in a rough spot at the moment does not mean that, okay, I need a little help.
There's people on this for years. Come on now, let's keep it all the way real.
And I understand that. Now, I'm not saying that it can't be some type of requirement and some type of accountability. Also, I've known people who have been on assistance. And I know a young lady that was on assistance, and she was supposed to be going to the job center or something. She told me that she didn't want, I'm going all off talking about how sorry she is, this and that. This is a relative of mine. She told me, Carla, they have me sitting in this, they're not teaching me a skill. I'm not going to any training. They have me putting Q-tips in some type of clear bag, making some like little packages for something. Just killing time sitting. Mm-hmm. But she had to report there, to do this in a waste of time. And she wasn't gaining a better skill. And then I had other people say, well, I went to the job center and this happened. So
honestly, I would say the job center is what you make it. It could be a learning experience. It could be like, I do understand, like I've had help clients in the past who literally, to keep their benefits, they have to show up at the job center and be there for 8 hours. But that's because they don't have a job or they haven't been looking for a job. That's like the last thing they do before they take their benefits. Oh, so okay. It's more to it than just.
Okay. Because I just think that there needs to be a revamp of, our welfare system as far as to really empower people to get off. But the system is not set up for people to get off.
No.
Because I also know cases where people work and try to get on their feet, and then they give them some ridiculous rent increase to stay in the projects or to stay in a low income housing, that it would be more advantageous for them just not to work.
I hear you.
If you try to build your family and the brother trying to stay in the household with this baby or want to marry the mother of his child, but his income is only like, it couldn't afford like all the benefits at that time.
I hear you. I do.
And stuff happen.
Listen, I do want to give everybody opportunity. If you want to call in, please call in at 216-800-7222. Once again, that's 216-800-7222. When you get into the accountability and even the numbers of welfare period, I tell anybody, the biggest myth in America right now is that, there's more black people than there actually are. We're only in major metropolitan areas. They'll try to convince you that we're everywhere, but we're not. And we're not the main people on welfare. We're actually the third. Hispanics actually lead now as far as people being on welfare, followed by whites. Mm-hmm. And we're like right up under that. Mm-hmm. But because there's not a lot of us. But at the same time, what's crazy is when you pull the data again, Hispanics are first in single moms. But they're also like second in married couples. It's like crazy. It's like, it's almost 50-50, like, whereas we're like, it's bad. We're like 84% single moms. Mm. And I personally,
single moms taking over the world.
But see, what I'm saying is we're losing. We're losing.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not working at all. So it's like, it's time to do something differently, and it has to be drastic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear everything you're saying, but give me a viable solution other than what I said. Carla, you're on the clock. Go. Fix America. 30 seconds.
Listen, I can't fix America. I'd say first people need to fix the communities, and within the most impoverished communities, by building them up. And I think the problem is that people that come from impoverished communities collectively flee instead of building on those communities with training, with resources to, like, each one teach one. I mean that when I say that. These people are not educated. Mm-hmm. And by these people, I mean, it becomes generational ignorance. So we make assumptions about choices. I'm thinking my choice is a good choice. I love my babies. I nurture my babies. I care. Not me. I only have one child. But I'm saying, when they're thinking from this mindset, they're really believing, they don't think they're doing a disservice, everyone. And they think this is something cute or it's a novelty. And then you have to ask your question, why is this okay? It's some it's education. I think it comes back with community engagement and involvement and building.
But don't you feel like to fix?
Somebody's calling me from Colorado.
That's our caller. Here, let's bring her. I told her to call you.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you just hang up?
Yes, she keep calling me. You ain't tell me. I'm sorry.
I should have told you. My bad. So look. This is what's so crazy. Man. We got our callers. Well, Carla done hung up on the girl. So we got our caller. We about to put her through. You got her?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now you trying to be about that Android life.
Yeah. This phone probably ain't.
Your message.
Oh, she ain't. Oh, Lord.
Now she's saying my number curvy.
Now she like, what? Here, I got her. She called back. So back to, what we saying. It's like, I understand everything you're saying, and those components are actually true, but you have to fix the leak, you have to cut it off somewhere. Mm-hmm. Where do you cut?
Did you want to weigh in on it? Put that the way in? Because
I don't think that I don't think there will ever be a cut. That's what I think. I think that they want a lot of people on the system. So,
and that's why I feel like America has set up so much. They've set up so much of a profitable infrastructure for the oppression of everyone under the poverty line, that they're cool with it. Is this it right here? Mm-hmm. Hello? Hello, do we got Chrissy on the line?
This is Chrissy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. This is Tom.
Hello.
This is Carla.
Yes.
And Latoya.
Hello, Chrissy.
Hi, Latoya.
Hey, Chrissy, let me give everybody just a little background on you. Chrissy is on YouTube, pretty big girl on YouTube. She has a wonderful channel. Go ahead and give them the name and the information, and we'll go ahead and get into the topic.
Okay, yeah. My name is Chrissy. As he told you guys, my YouTube channel name is Strong Mommy Chrissy on YouTube. And basically, I'm a single mother, or I was a single mother. I've been married for just a year in November. But before that, I was a single mom. I have 7 kids now, and we're about to have baby number 8 in April.
Baby number 8.
All right, all my single sisters, keep hope alive.
Hey, look.
7 kids through the gate and got a husband.
She be doing her thing too.
Excellent.
Hey, so what's some of the misconceptions people have about you, Chrissy?
I think one of the major misconceptions that I get, because I was listening to you guys back and forth a little while ago, but one of the major misconceptions that I get is the fact that because I have kids, even when I was a single mom, that I guess just like you were saying, I had to live off of public assistance, government assistance, and that there was no way for me to be able to take care of my family myself without those things. And then I get the same things thrown at me. Well, if you accept anything, then you're not able to take care of your kids. If you accept anything that's given to you, you're not technically, you're not able to take care of your kids. You're not able to provide, and therefore, why are you having children? And so, in the past, I've used government assistance before when I needed it, and used it for its purpose, and then moved on from it. And I think that that's the biggest misconception, is that people think that if you're a single mom and you have children, that you are destined and deemed to stay on public assistance, and you're going to stay in that cycle, which it happens for some of us. But I think that there's a lot of people that I've met, that it's really not that way.
How you turn your thing up? Turn the volume up. Hold on, we had a few people saying that they could barely hear you. We're gonna turn it up just a little bit more. We're dealing with an inferior device. Here, we hear you now. Yeah, we hear you pretty good now.
Great.
Yeah, so, all right, so I'm watching your channel, and so let's go through the process of the first couple births and the decision making, because I watched that video, but I know everybody can't watch it right now, but could you tell them just your thought process, because I thought that was very candid, open, and important, like what you said in that video.
Are you talking about the why I decided to have a 7 kids video?
Right.
Okay. Basically in that video, I go over the fact that growing up, sex was not a big thing that we talked about. It was a non-touch, hush subject. We didn't talk about sex too much. We didn't talk about relationships. We didn't talk about things like that. And I grew up with a single mom. I don't want to say that's the reason why I turned out to be a single mom, of course. But what I meant by saying that in that video was that took me out into the world, unaware of what to look for, or what was acceptable, what was not acceptable. Everybody talks about, okay, wait till you're married to have children, but do we talk about sex and what happens when you're approached with it and you're like, I might want to try that. What do you say? What do you do? And so I wasn't really necessarily armed with that, because I grew up in a household where it was just like, you don't have sex until you're married. We didn't talk about it a lot. It was just kind of like, that's what it was. So when I began dating and things like that, it wasn't something that I was really, it was, figure it out for yourself. You do what you want to do. And it sounds bad, but at the same time, like I said, there was not that conversation. And then when you get so far into it, you don't know how to have that conversation with your parents.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. Were you ever the aggressor?
With the men?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't say the aggressor. I wouldn't say the aggressor. You're talking about sexually, relationships, or?
Yes.
No. I don't think I acted out sexually or anything, if that's what you're trying to lead to. I don't think I acted out sexually because I didn't have that guidance. What I think was that I just decided that, if I wanted to have sex, I was going to have sex. And, I think sometimes young women correlate sex with love. And it's not that I didn't feel love, because I grew up, I got everything I wanted. I loved my family. I didn't feel like I was missing anything, at least in my mindset that I was as a young woman.
Do you
think you know everything, but you don't?
Do you feel that because you had made reference to the fact that it was just a hush-hush topic, so that you were not knowledgeable on certain things, so you had to figure it out along the way? Do you think if the conversation would have been had and you were taught about safe sex, birth control, that this whole conversation will be mute? It will be irrelevant, because you wouldn't be having 8 children. You wouldn't be the mother, of 8 children. Do you think that would have been something that you would have been proactive with, or would you have already been about having children?
I think that had the conversation happened, or had it been instilled in me a little bit earlier, I think maybe I would have waited a little longer. But then again, when you tell somebody something and they have it in their mind, they want to do things a different way, there's usually only one way that's going to work out, in the way that they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do.
So did you set out to have children? Did you set out to have a large amount of children then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't set out to have a large amount of children. But at the same time, I made a decision to bring my children into this world, which is another conversation, because I have friends who have had 8 abortions.
Yes.
So it's just that
wow,
my
Yeah,
actions and my actions and the things that have happened in becoming pregnant or what have you, I just decided to go through with my pregnancy.
Yeah, and I respect that.
And there's a lot of people who have.
No, I greatly respect that. But I think, as I was talking to Tom earlier, when I hear you speaking, and even with your videos, you seem like a loving mother, vested into your children. That I just wonder, with a person, if you would have had the information, not put on you like, just don't think about sex, just wait till you marry, but had a real conversation, about sex, and this is what you want to do, about family planning and things like that. Seeing examples of single mothers and how it can be a bit challenging, and how you could end up on a system and having people dictating how much money you get a month. How would that have curbed some behavior?
And I do want to just, before you answer that question, this is why I really feel like your channel is really important, because I hope some teachers, some youth group leaders, I hope people are listening to this and they're willing to, you know, play your videos for those teens, because this, like, you are very candid, you're very funny, you're very resourceful on your channel. Like, I remember she said something about going to Walmart and buying like all these clothes for like $40-some or something like that. But go ahead and answer that question Carla had said.
Yeah. So to answer that question, I feel like yes. So like, had I had more information and it would not have been such a scary subject, then I would have probably had a notch in the schools to make, you know, better decisions, at least to wait longer, find the right person and things like that. So yeah, I'd say yes, definitely. That's why now I tell my kids early. We're talking about, you know, sex, relationships, good touch, bad touch, all of that now, because I'm not saying that my life is a bad life, because I love my life and I don't regret it or apologize about the decisions that I've made to anyone. But at the same time, I want my children to be armed with the knowledge that I wasn't armed with, so that when they grow up, they can decide, okay, maybe I'll wait, because, you know, I'm too young to be a mom. I'm too young to be in a serious relationship. Let me have fun. Let me go to college. Let me get married. That's what I want for my kids. And so I armed them with the knowledge that I wasn't armed with. But I don't regret my life at the same time.
Now, let me ask you this question. It might seem a little, you know, to the left or whatever, but let's just say you end up with a teenage mom on your hands, like one of your daughters, heaven forbid. Now, would you feel like you failed her because you've you've had this, you know, life of an example and it still ended up this way?
No, I didn't feel like I failed. Because as long as I did the best I could do, as long as I gave her all of the tools and showed her my life is an example, other people's lives are an example. This is what you do. This is what you don't want to do. And she decides not to listen to me. I mean, I might be hurt as a mother, but I'm not going to feel as if I failed, because I've done the best I could do as a mother. At the end of the day, we arm our children with what we feel like we need to. They go out into the world, and at the end of the day, that decision is still theirs. So I want to, you know, let them know what I want for them. But if they decide that they're not going to listen to their mom, which, let's be honest, a lot of teens do, you know, then that's unfortunate. But then that I guess that's just the repercussions of that. But I don't think I would feel like I failed her or any of my kids, you know, if I had a teen on my hands, and I was a teen mom.
So what's just a quick question, like, what is the, you know, the children's fathers like? Are they active? Do they help? Is there assistance? How does
everybody's dad helps, and they all pay monthly for their kids. They all pay me for them and for, you know, helping with their needs and things like that. So they all have support. And
they all have different.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry.
They all have different fathers.
Well, some of them, yes.
Okay.
They do. Yes,
right.
They do.
Okay.
And so they all get assistance from their dad. You know, we get child support for them. But as well as that, on top of that, some of their dads, you know, a couple of their dads, are not in the picture at all. And then the rest of them, they do see them. So it's not a situation where they don't know who their dad is, or they don't have that connection or that relationship. Now my twins' dad, I do have twin girls, and their dad has decided he doesn't want to be a part of their life, and that is okay, because my husband has been around since they were very, very small. They're only 4, but since they were babies, and so they know him as dad, so they still do have that father figure, and so, I mean, yes, for some of them, no, for some of them, but then again, I'm married and I have a husband who is that father figure for them.
Yeah, after we get done with the show, I want you to give me his number, because I feel like I need to send him a gift card. Because he is definitely man of the year. Because like, I remember the one video you have on your channel when you was talking about how you guys got together. It's just like, man, if a woman was to tell me, I got 7 kids at home, all you would hear is wind in the door. like for
really
real. I mean, it is, but it's like that's. I mean, for him, what I'm saying, to stand in there and not only accept it, but then build. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a man right there. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he is definitely the love of my life. And I thank God every day for him. Mm-hmm. And he gets on my nerves just like everybody, every relationship. But I would not trade him for the world, because he goes everywhere to provide for his family. I don't have to work. He allows me to be able to stay home, and then I can do my own entrepreneurial thing here. And so, and if I didn't want to do that, then he would take care of everything. And then, if I'm too tired, he's gonna, help. And that's what I wish. Sometimes I don't regret my kids, but sometimes I wish I would have waited for that, for him. I always tell him, I wish we would have met a long time ago, right. Years ago. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I didn't really know. It took me a lot of trial and error and looking for love in all the wrong places before I really learned who I was, and then knew what it was that I needed to look for. So I'm blessed. I finally found it.
What's so crazy is this sort of goes back to our show last week, and we were talking about, like, basically, the ideal time for marriage, or looking for marriage, is like between 28 and 32. Mm-hmm. So it's like, mm-hmm. with you being 27, that lines right up to what, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The statistics said last week, that, now yourself, you have a good idea of self, and it came and it happened for you, and you're blessed. And I'm not saying this is automatic for everybody, but, this is why I'm really for not having children, not getting married until you reach that age, because it's just so much about yourself that you just don't know.
And it's a lot of trial. And I think it's a lot of trial and error, because this appears to be a happy ending, but I can't help but to know the challenges that had to be incorporated with a young lady having these children by multiple fathers, and some of the disappointment that had to be experienced with that, mm-hmm. and some of the struggles that come along with that, and how then it could possibly be a ripple effect for, other young ladies. This is the rosy colored glasses on this side of it, and it's good to hear about it, and to hear that she has a husband now that accepted her. It's truly a blessing, as she has stated. But it's sisters with these 7 and these 8 kids, and then it's going to be the ripple effect because of the lack of knowledge.
But the thing is, all right, about Chrissy, and this is she's very resourceful, and it's like, she hustles. She has all these different little side hustles that she does, and she's making money. You know what I'm saying? It's people with 3 kids that don't do what she do.
Well, so, like she said,
I don't want to talk about her like she's not on the phone. So, right. Once again, Chrissy, I want to thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it. And once again, everybody, you can reach her on YouTube. Just type in Strong Mommy Chrissy on YouTube, and you can watch all of her videos. She has a wonderful channel, and I really want people to share her videos with your children. Share your videos with your children. I mean, if you're a teacher, play them in the classroom, whatever. I just personally feel like the message that she's putting out needs to be received, seen, whatever. So once again, thank you for calling in today. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chrissy. And I'm about to talk junk when you hang up, but not about you, about the other side of you. Because when he said showing your videos, and I want them to show the videos to the single teenage mom that starts off and has 7 or 8 kids that doesn't have the happy ending.
Yeah, it's another side.
Because some will see Chrissy's story like, oh, see, no, she had 7 kids. I wanted 7 kids too. And then I'm going to find my husband. Because again, it's the lack of knowledge, and we're in this cartoon life age where, you know, boys wear dresses.
Once again, Chrissy, I want to thank you for calling in. Carla gonna be, you know, who she gonna be. We
I
gonna
know, I
pray
appreciate
for
you, Chris.
We're gonna pour
Chris,
some
you know,
oil on her.
Whatever.
If you watch the channel, you'll see that there is nothing rosy about what I put out there. I put all the good and all the bad for everyone to see, so that people know, young moms, young teens who don't have kids yet, my kids, to see when they get older, everybody can look back and reflect on the fact that my life is not something I'm trying to say is I'm not on MTV or some teen mom show where I'm making a lot of money. I'm just putting this out there to educate people, but it's not rosy at all. I just happen to have a good thing, thank God. But at the same time, you're right, there's people who aren't going to have that.
That's the light at the other side, end of the tunnel.
Right. That's why I emphasize, you know, what I've learned. I may not have had that growing up, but I have definitely lived a full life, and I have some knowledge to give. So that's what the YouTube is for. But definitely check out the channel, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to continue to watch you guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking with you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, love.
I like her.
She's awesome.
I do. Her energy was right. I like her. Yeah.
She is definitely invited to the cookout.
Yes,
like for real.
Yeah. I'm definitely. I'm on her.
Hey, look, and once again, give us a call. I'm about to be like 216-800-7222. So give us a call if you want to chat with us about that call we just took. What do you think about? You said you wanted to go in on the other side. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, because you were telling people to show their kids, you know, really show her videos and all this. And
because she shows both sides. Like she shows both sides to, okay, this is okay, I'm glad I got my kids. I love my kids, but look, this is how we got to break down this Walmart trip.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's still time, I think, is a
like it's almost signal.
Not mixed signal. I think it's when I hear Chrissy, I feel good, want to hug her, see her babies, and say, good for you, Chrissy. And she's 27 years old, about to have her 8th child. And she started off very young. I'm saying Chrissy is very blessed, because a child is the least of the worries when you're having unprotected sex. We're talking about the girl who starts having unprotected sex, let's say 13, 14, having babies, and then is HIV positive before she's even 16 years old. We're talking about the young ladies who start having these unprotected relationships, having sex, and may not have children, but may contract a venereal disease. And because they're so young and ignorant to their bodies and no understanding, and no one is training them, they get a venereal disease that they don't know that they have. And then when they mature and become older, they're sterile. They can't reproduce. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right, so let's backtrack a little bit. Single mom versus the world. Okay, so all right, remember when I just said earlier about if you are on any form of assistance, you can't take care of your child. Somebody had posted something in our group. Once again, go to our group. It is Life, Love, and Relationships, TADS, on Facebook. Just type us in the search bar. We'd love to have you. So somebody had posted earlier today, and I believe the meme was to the effect of, when a man doesn't pay child support, they put him in jail. When a woman
I love my boss. Shout out, Miss Hoover.
When a woman can't provide for her children, they give her assistance.
That's not true though, because listen, now this is a little bias going back to our old kept men, because
let's go, baby.
As soon as I hear about a brother that's on Section 8 or was getting, I immediately go to, what in the world? Why is
Look
he?
at you done dropped your head.
No, listen. I immediately go to, why is a single healthy man on Section 8? Or how did he get on Section 8? Or how does he have a food card and he a single man with no children? So that is a bunch of bull crap. A single, if you can't take care of your child, then petition for half of, custody or something for your child, or try to get some care or something for your child, because you can get assistance like the woman if you were the primary provider. But because she's the primary provider and the child is in the home with the woman, she gets the assistance.
But
so the woman don't. So what if the man's taking care of the kids? The woman won't go. And she won't go to jail for child support?
She will.
They will. But the thing is, like, literally, I know in the state of Ohio, for a man to try to get joint custody or full custody from the maternal parent mother, it's almost an act of God. It literally never happens. Mm-hmm. It is, you have to prove that she's an unfit. Able,
yeah.
When it can just be a better decision for them to live with their dad.
What about shared? What about
joint custody is typically hard too. Like it's you have to put it like this. It's almost like convicting somebody. You have to prove them guilty.
But just for joint custody?
If it's not agreed upon.
And then you have to go back and forth to court.
And it's
then that's when the responsibility of the man comes into play. Stop sticking your penis into places where you're unsure how the woman's going to react. Because then if she nuts up on you.
Nuts up. Go ahead.
If she goes cuckoo on you or tries to use your child as a leveraging agent to how she wants to control you, then you should have thought a little bit deeper. Like you want to say about these young women and their choices, then think a little bit deeper about your choices of your baby mamas.
This is true. True. I'm big on accountability of men and women, period, through the whole process. But honestly, it really all does go back to a woman, like accepting the man inside her.
Yeah. I think it's all a problem.
How is it both? Like we just illustrated just a second ago, like, you know, I couldn't just say, LaToya, go over there and bend over. I'll be over there in a second.
Okay, but it's say like if it was two people who together have unprotected sex and she, you know what I'm saying, she has faith that this man's going to be there for her if she do get pregnant. I mean, and then it's not her fault that he walks away and she become a single parent. It's not her fault. It's both of them making a decision to use unprotected sex.
Her life is her fault, though. It's gonna it becomes her fault because just like I'm saying about the men, even though people have dual responsibility, if I make a choice, whatever the choice that I consciously make, I got to live with that decision. It doesn't matter what I assume about you. If I decide, if you come to me and I'm like, okay, Toya fly and she invested into this makeup brand and I put my money with you and you turn out to be a crook, I can't say, well, that's her fault too. I have to take the responsibility. Like I entrusted my finances with her because of the representation that she.
Okay, so say if somebody married and you with your husband to somebody that you gonna spend the rest of your life with, y'all have a baby, and then all of a sudden you a single parent.
That's a different. That's a different dynamic.
Like that's.
I mean, but this isn't typically statistically what's happening though. Like these are just these are like dating relationships that they're having kids in.
Yeah, but Toya has a point though. Because once you're divorced, now you're a single parent. Because I know some people that get divorced and the father gets very brand new.
Oh, like, yeah. I mean,
like they didn't have no kids or anything. Don't want to pay for college. Don't want to pay for trips.
Because they a lot of guys, and I mean, I don't like guys who do this. They attach everything with the marriage to the woman,
with the relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Not the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Some females do that too. Someone had something on the group chat about their child's mother playing games. They're both in two different relationships. Like he has someone he's seeing out. His baby's mom has somebody she's seeing. And now she's playing games with him seeing his child, even though they're both in a different relationship. And then someone chimed in saying, oh, you should have knew who you was in a relationship with. And a person was like, we were in a relationship for 8 years. And so people just do, weird, tweaky,
switch ups.
Yeah, they do switch ups. So at the end of the day, you just have to ascribe to yourself that if I'm laying and playing and I'm not a wife, because I know if I'm married to somebody, hopefully if he has a job and works every day, you're getting a check.
Mm-hmm.
If you just laying and playing and you're not the wife, it could go either way. You may have to hunt the brother down for a DNA to swab his mouth. Fine.
You sound like you've been through a thing.
I have not. Don't come for me. I'm cool. Yeah, my child father. All right. I don't have no issues.
Okay, so just to bring up, the group again, because it was another great post in the group by Tylista Ricks, and this was the scenario. And I don't know if I'm not just gonna remember it the best I can, not verbatim. She has a 2-year-old daughter that she had with a guy. She was pregnant with the 2-year-old daughter and she met another guy. She married that guy. The child's this little girl, her dad didn't want anything to do with the baby.
Right.
The baby is now 2 years old, and now he's reaching out and he wants something to do with the baby, but the baby only knows the other guy is dad. And she's like, I don't feel like we're going to let him in.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
So I guess I'm going to let y'all answer that before. Let me go ahead.
I
Let me start.
commented on it.
You did. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just going to wait for the show. She was supposed to call in. I'm going to tell you like this. This is how I feel. I feel like if a person wants to be a dad, you have to let them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they prove themselves to be a sorry dad, then you have something to go off of.
He proved that he was a sorry dad when he walked away. She don't owe him nothing.
See, but that's
but she laid down with him.
Right,
that's
what
that
I'm
baby's
saying.
dad. You can't take that away, because no matter if you do take that baby away, that baby gonna hunt for her dad later on in life. Period.
How would she know?
No matter if he a crackhead.
How would she know though?
Who know?
How would the child know that the man?
She don't
want
to know. A child will always want to know who their father knows.
Oh, so you saying
all her life, all she knew was the man who stepped into her father's life.
Once again, listen.
Life,
so Carla, you condoning the JFK conspiracy here?
Whatever. Your father is the person that's here. This is your father. This is who raising you. This is who took care of you. This is who has stepped in for you. And unless it needs to be discussed in any type of other capacity, she doesn't need the reason. She said on this post that the reason why the brother wanted to come into the child's life because he's talking about karma. That's some sucker stuff. He ain't coming in for the interest.
No,
of the
he said
child.
that he made a mistake and he wanted to come into the child's life. That's what she said.
And that he believes it's karma coming back. That the stuff, and that he thinks he made a mistake. She made reference to karma.
She did. I did see karma, but he did say that. But at the end of the day,
it's his child.
I can see, and that's exactly what I'm saying. That is his child. And if he wants to make an attempt, I feel like she should give him that opportunity. But at the same time, if he messes it up,
he messed it up when he denied the child off top. Now 2 years then went by.
But see, that's
after she already had a man.
Yeah, but people make mistakes. He probably was screwed up in the head, and now he probably
it's
a
like
little healthier.
For one, it's not even that. It's like you can even take it to the point of you can even take it to the point of okay, they did a wham bam thank you ma'am type thing. And maybe he didn't really think that was his kid, or you know what I'm saying? It's like it's so many different variables.
You can go find out though.
Right, earlier on. This is my thing. Everyone, we talking all this stuff about what can be done, all the single parent stuff, and now we're thinking about this is a child's life who has a person, an active participant as her father that's been engaged in her life. Mm-hmm. Y'all want to say, oh, he made mistakes, he should have an opportunity to come back. Here's the deal. Opportunity comes with a head, not a tail. Sometimes if you don't grab it by the head, you missed it. So have some other children. You missed this opportunity with this child. She has a father that's raising her, that's loving her mother. That's her father.
I'm going to tell you, I know some stories of people where their parent was missing and they had another parent, and they were still curious about their parent, even parent like on the streets, like walking on the streets, and they wanted to find their parent
because they were aware. That's because they knew.
No, I'm just saying, so Carla, that's like crazy. Like I would not really expect this from you.
But that would be a false. That would be false advertisement.
Are you serious right now?
Dead serious. If I was to have, like, when I had my daughter, if her dad wasn't solid like he is, right? And he was like, no, I ain't with you. And I met a brother. You're dead to us. Her father would be dead to us. She wouldn't even know he existed.
Right. So you never tell her dad who her dad is?
Her father is this man who done raised you and took care of you. Period.
Wow.
Period.
So when it's time, like if the kid gets sick and she need a blood transfusion.
It's just so many different variables.
She going to be mad at the mom because the mom never told her this is not your dad.
Kids that are adopted hate.
I'm adopted. I'm adopted.
Dun, 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 dun.
My mom, but I was given to my mom's best friend's mom. So we lived across the street. My real mom lived across the street from me. My dad, I never really knew my dad. He would come around when I was little, but then I never, as a teenager, I didn't want to see my dad. You're not my dad. I have a dad. But then I started wondering about my dad. So years went by. My dad reached out to me when he was dying to see me. He requested to see me. So I went and see my dad, was there for my dad. But then after that, I was like, oh man, all them years my dad tried to reach out to me and I didn't reach out to him because I already had a dad. But then it was still in the back of my mind, like, dang, should I go like reach out to him? You know? So when I'm at his funeral, everybody at the funeral talking about how awesome of a man he was. And I felt bad because I was stubborn and I did not go find out more about my dad. You know what I'm saying?
And do you feel like that was all rooted in the how they did the whole switch across the street thing? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Carla would have messed you up, basically. No, at the end of the day, Carla would have had you.
Because if what her father could have did, because that was her child, they gave him, because he has to have right. If he knew that was his child, he didn't have to let her.
See, you got to understand, LaToya is like 137 years old. So this happened probably like in the 1860s. Like they literally, no, I'm just saying, like literally.
No, but I know family members who wanted to find out who their parent was. They, even though they know their mom or dad was on crack, they still wanted to go find their mom. I chose not to. I didn't want to reach out to I knew my dad was alcoholic. I didn't want to reach out to him. I'm like, I'm cool. I got a mom and a dad. But I know family members who did want to reach out to their family member or their parent because they weren't there.
Yeah, and I think if they know that, if they're aware that they're adopted or something, that would happen. But I'm saying if a child is given up, because this is nothing new. This has been happening. Half of us don't even know our real lineage.
I know who
through mental passage and things like that, as far as who interconnected and who cousins and aunties. So all I'm saying is, if you are in a loving situation, I'm not saying be deceptive like I'm gonna lie to you. I'm just saying if the information does not develop to where it is necessary to bring
it's kind of like a secret.
It is. Like, I don't even understand why you wrapping this gift like this. Like,
it is what. If he deny a child and all of a sudden you want to come back 2 years later when a person has raised, because are we considering a brother who done raised this child as his own and loves this child, that committed his life to this child? Nobody considering this brother's feelings. Ain't nobody consider that this is his daughter. And this man gonna come in here, he can hurt your baby that you love because it's your baby, because you done raised this child.
I done been that guy. You know what I'm saying? I done been in his shoes and lived that whole life, raised a child all the way up till he grown. He 21 now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you like this. When his dad did try to reach out, I encouraged that.
Well, good for y'all. Then, pray for the woman of God, because I wouldn't. This is your father. This is your father. This person was here. So
this is your daddy.
It. And on my death.
Okay, Darth Vader. Okay, Darth Vader. Luke. Oh my goodness. Once again, I want to encourage people to join our Facebook group, Life, Love, and Relationships, TADS. Look,
phone lines.
I'm going to need somebody to call in. Look, before we get off the air, I want to get like a couple callers in here. So give us a call, 216-800-7222. I want to get some of y'all.
Yeah, everybody was talking about when the phone lines go here. Where is y'all at on this comment about this father situation? Tooth and Toy ain't with me, but hey,
I sure ain't. I'm so surprised.
Till Jesus came back. Oh, that's what she would find here.
I'm telling you right now, Carla. I'm gonna tell you. Look, you learn about people in the weirdest ways, because I really would have never thought you would have basically done this.
I wouldn't even deal with a dude that would be built to even play them games. I wouldn't even pick a lame like that.
You never know the lame you pick.
Yes, I would. I guarantee I would.
So you saying you make better decisions than most black women?
I guess so. Because even if he didn't fool with me, he'd fool with his kid. I wouldn't deal with no dude that just, that ain't my baby. Because you got to think, like, you had to see something about that dude. Like, if you were in a relationship with this guy.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what it was. We don't know what it was. It could have been hey, we met at the club, we did what we did. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even seen him till 6 months later. That's what I'm saying. You can't put that on him like that.
But I'm saying, if it's something like that, then get a DNA. Off top, we don't have to wait till 2 years later.
But why do this is my thing? Like, all right, so why would I? Okay, I know I had sex with you, but it was like super duper easy. So why would I automatically think like I was the dad when obviously your cookies ain't?
You can know. We're gonna get a DNA so you can be sure. Like, let's not play. Let's get a DNA. So if you on some sucker attack, like, I don't want no DNA. Okay, you're just a sucker because you should want to find out. I'm telling you, let's go, or she would be telling you, let's go get a DNA. You don't want to get a DNA. Then all of a sudden you want to, I feel like I made some. Yeah, you did. And she has a father. And it's not bitterness or nothing like that. Like, my baby is moving. I'm not about to put this confusion in her life. I don't know if you did that either. So how about that? Let's just go. What did she say then? I
think you talking real tough right now. You talking real tough. And it's like, this the thing. I know it's a lot of women that have been in that situation who would not, like, they would feel obligated to tell the child that that's her daddy.
Yeah, because a lot of people was chiming in on that thing, and I was like, dang, I don't know if this means that I'm real jacked up or they just super sweet.
No, you're horrible right now. Like, for real, you not getting in the boat when we go back to Africa. I'm for real. You off the boat. For real. So
especially when she gave you the opportunity. Like, if you're given the opportunity to see if this is your child or not, and you say no, okay.
All right, let's backtrack just a little bit. Single moms versus the world. So we're about to conclude the show. People were scared to call in. I intimidate people. Carla scares people.
I don't scare people. I love the people. I do it for the people. Hey,
so
that's my hashtag.
Listen,
do it for the people. I
really, I want you guys to think about your final thought. Like, once again, I want to thank Strong Mommy Chrissy for calling in today. Man, 27-year-old mom with 7 kids. That's just crazy, and she's pregnant with her 8th. She got married about a year ago. If you go on our YouTube channel, Strong Mommy Chrissy, you'll actually see her husband. Nice looking guy. And he seemed pretty cool. And obviously, I mean, I didn't know she was a stay-at-home mom, but then again, like, what could you really do with 7 kids to got to take care of? So,
well, I know moms that got.
I think she came up with the right name.
Strong Mommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Strong Mommy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, my grandmother had 11 kids. So, I mean, I guess we're gonna call her Strong Rose. But I just think about your final thought real quick. Once again, I'm gonna give. She said she just called 3 times. Hold on.
Missing the call because I figured the phone line should have been shaking.
Oh, no. Swoop, all right, slipping. Give us a call. We're gonna stay on one more time. I do see some missed calls here. Go ahead. All right, go. All right, we got a caller. Hey, caller, you're on the air. The after dinner snack. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Renee Suber. I have a comment about that father.
Go ahead. Hey, before you talk, turn down. You got the show playing so we can hear the feedback.
I to do what?
You got the show playing in the background.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Carly is wrong on this one. Carly is this is Renee Suber.
This is my boss that I love too. I'm sorry, Miss Suber. I'm serious. She went down.
I know you're serious, but that's that child's father. That's that woman's mistake, and she got to live with it. Mm-hmm. That new father, just a father figure. He married that girl knowing she had a baby, and he had a father.
Oh,
yeah. So you wrong on this one.
See, I told you.
Hey.
Now I go with all the other stuff, but this
one. Hey. Look, I told Carla, ain't nobody gonna look. That don't make no sense. Carla want to go as far as to lie to the baby. Just lie. Just go ahead with a whole JFK conspiracy. Like, come on, man.
So I don't care if he's sorry or good. It doesn't matter. She chose him. She laid with him. That's her mistake, not his.
But the fact that he denied the child earlier on and did not want any relationship.
Whether they denied or not, that's not making that her child's father. Mm-hmm. She might not have no relationship with him, but it does not make it her father. The man becomes her father figure, her father model, but that's it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Look,
but I'm still.
She out of breath and everything. She been waiting to cuss you out.
I was running to the house. I was so wound up.
I can hear her.
Hey, but I mean, like, once again, I just personally feel like if he wants to be a dad, give him the opportunity to be a dad. Now, like I said, if he proves that he's he can't do it, he's not up to task, then you modify the behavior, the visitation, whatever. But you got to get a guy an opportunity if he really want to be a dad. He could turn out to be an awesome dad. Mm-hmm. You still feel it. Look at she looking up in the air. She questioning Jesus and everything right now.
People can change. So
you can change just like that.
That's why the Lord made sure I wasn't in them type of situations.
That's right.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
So since I really ain't got to worry about it, and pray my
That's
child.
because you're smarter than most, Carla.
All right, we want to thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
You have a wonderful
evening.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Where Ace Boogie at? Shout out to Ace Boogie, too.
Who? Ace Boogie for what?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Just
do?
because he the homie. And he listened to it on podcast right now.
All right, so anybody else want to give us a call? 216-800-7222. Before we get out of here, I'm giving y'all like another 30 seconds now. Another 30 seconds.
That's crazy. Hey.
Yeah, but you still, Carla, you did wrong.
You are not the father.
You still on it?
You are not the father.
Your boss just told you to get
I
on
know.
it.
And you know my boss is my mentor too. You typically listen to what my boss say.
Oh, so you saying you still don't listen to her?
This one?
You don't receive her?
Hey, the Lord, I ain't got to worry about it.
Oh my goodness. That's terrible.
Because if I have another baby daddy, it's gonna be my husband.
So you want another baby?
No, not really.
All right, so we about to get. All right, hold on. We got another caller. Hold on. Hey, how you doing, caller?
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're on the after dinner snack. Go ahead.
Hi.
You said who?
This is what
Miss Jackson.
Hi.
You got your kids.
I did not have my kids calling, but I love my kids. Hey, baby, I don't know who this is, but thank you for calling. I love my kids.
Hey, so look.
Whoever that is, I'll give you a treat when I come to work tomorrow.
You gonna quit having your
I
kids.
didn't have them call. They did that off the bottom they self.
Look, one more time. We about to get out of here, but before that, if you want to give us a call, 216-800-7222. We're talking about single moms versus the world. Let's go ahead and get a final thought. Anybody want to jump in first?
Don't be looking at me. I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I think the start of the show is a perfect example of single moms versus the world, because it's those unexpected things that occur that are somewhat unavoidable, but you can never anticipate. And I think that's the constant life of a single mom. We were having technical difficulties. Everything that was going wrong, it almost seemed like but we were still trying to work our way through it. And at the end of the day, it was still the after dinner snack, and it was shaking. And for single moms, they press through all types of controversy and obstacles. And at the end of the day, those who stand firm and stand fast on what the goal is, raising their children, end up, on the other side, on a positive note, like what we see with Miss Chrissy, strong Mommy Chrissy, and things like that. So I think it's funny how things work out, how God works things out, because all the fumbling at the beginning of this show and to talk about single moms.
Hold on 1 second. We got one more caller. Let's get this one more caller in here. Right. It better not be one of your kids again.
If it is, they represent.
Hey, what's up, caller? You on the after dinner snack? This is Tom. How can I help you? Hello? They gone? Mm-hmm. Man, your people. I tell you. All right.
My kids probably would have had more sense anyway. You should have probably let them say something.
Man, he didn't even know how to.
He was like, he wanted to talk to Miss Jackson. You was all
I want to come on to Miss Jackson, please. That's what he sounded like.
So, and it was probably a girl anyway.
Yeah. All right, LaToya, you up? Boom, boom.
All right. Single mothers versus the world. I just give it to all the single mothers. It's a hard job, and I'm a single mother as well. And when it's time to get going, you got to get going. You ain't no resting. You got people to take care of, not yourself. You got to take care of others. And I give it to all of you. I take my hat off to you. Keep striving for your kids to be great. That's basically it. Just showing them love and positivity, and just keep going. And that's basically what I wanted to say.
I like that, LaToya. I really do. I really do like that. I like the way you phrased that and everything. Look, all right, so I'm going to be short, sweet, and to the point. I love single moms, but we have to do things differently. It is not working. We are losing as a people. We are losing as a country. We are losing, period. And until we can somehow stop the bad decision making, the lack of accountability, we're going to keep getting the same results. Our prisons are full of children that are, what they say, 68% of the people in penitentiaries are from single parent homes. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not working. Though everything that we got in place right now, the infrastructure for everything that has to do with single parenting, teenage pregnancy, single moms, welfare, SNAP program, TNF program, all of these programs, nothing is working.
Because it's lacking on the education.
This is my final thought. I'm gonna need you to be quiet. So we have to do something differently. And until we do it, we're gonna keep getting the same results. You know, I see a lot of moms, they feel like, you know, like I said earlier, that, you know, my kids is clean. I provide for my kids and this, and the third. Nah, you know what I'm saying? You got to do better. Quit having kids by guys that you know ain't. Okay? Quit it. Stop it. All right? That's my final thought.
All right. Peace.
No, we're not saying bye yet.
What we doing?
No, we are saying bye. We'll see you guys next week, Monday, 8:30 p.m. Facebook Live.
And
we out of here.
Call in next week. Leave some comments.
Call in next week. Y'all played me this week.
Right.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to talk to y'all later. Keep it gangster.